Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about one of, for me, the most important tools in TradingView, and it's not an indicator, it's a way of managing all your indicators, when you're doing your horizontal and support lines, your trend lines, all your drawing management on your charts across all different time frames, and that is the object tree in TradingView. So down here to the right at the bottom, you see me highlighting it here. Click that button, you see the pop out there. So right now we're on the 3-day chart. So I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm just going to draw a few horizontal support and resistance lines. So we'll just start from the bottom. We'll draw one there. Just draw them in rough for now. We'll draw one in there. Draw one in there, and we'll draw one in. We'll just draw one in there, just for that. So all those 4 lines I've drawn there are all on the 3-day chart. Now they might be effective in the smaller time frame charts as well, but I've specifically just drawn these ones on the 3-day chart. I haven't drawn them in exactly accurately, but just to show you. So when you come up and click on one of these lines here in the object tree, then click this little plus file button. So now it groups them. So you can also rename that group to just say 3-day. Or just say 3D. And then you can drag those other lines you've drawn into that folder as well. Close that folder, and now we can, just by clicking that I beside that 3-day folder, you can turn all of them off and on. So I'm going to turn them, leave them on now for a second. So I'm going to switch down to the 4-hour chart. You can see here that the 2 of the lines I drew in that 3-day chart, it's a very liquid zone here. So we're getting a lot of bounces between those two lines on the 3-day chart. But those lines on the 3-day chart, they're very big pivotal moments within the 4-hour chart. So I want to have a new set of support and resistance lines for the lower time frame. So I'm just going to click that I and hide all of them on that time frame. And now I can draw a whole set of new lines purely for the 4-hour chart and group them together as well. So we'll just draw a few here now. We'll draw one. Just get them drawn in quickly. So we're just drawing a few lines there as well, and it's the same thing again. Click on one of them lines and then click the folder with the plus. That'll group them. That'll create a group with that one you've clicked on in it, and then you can just drag the other lines into that. And then you go up to the group and rename the group. Rename whatever you want. I'm going to rename it 4-hour, 4HR. And then, like I said, with the 3 days, if you want to go to the 2-day now, just turn off. Now I have no lines on the page, but I can turn them back on the 4-hour, see where they match up on the daily. I can turn on the 3-day. Okay, you can use this for your indicators as well. So right now I'm just going to bring in the stochastics. Okay, so on your stochastics, just say you wanted to, okay, we get a vertical line here. So we're going to go to the 4-hour. Okay, I've got my vertical line there. I'm going to make this a dotted line. Yeah, it is a dotted line. I'm going to draw that in. I'm going to draw that in purple there. Actually, no, I'll change that just to orange there. So now I can draw. I'm on my 4-hour chart, and I can draw these here now. So it's just say, we're going to get into the overbought zone. Click there. Click there. Just say if you wanted to do back testing a strategy to see what happened after it went over the 80 mark on the stochastics, then draw that line on the chart as well. So here now you can see in the object tree, there's 2 lines under the stochastic, and there's 2 lines in the upper above that. So we can click on these lines and group them, and rename that 4-hour stocks, then drag that in there. Now the stochastic, do the same thing, click on that, click group, drag that around there, and name that 4-hour. Because this folder is under the stochastics, you don't need to you don't need to put the 4-hour stokes, but up here, the one you draw on the main chart, yeah, best to put the stokes, the indicator after it, after the time frame you're in. We just put here 4-hour, so that now I know when I'm on the 4-hour chart that I can check my 4-hour stokes, and then in the stokes just click on the 4-hour. So I'm going to turn both them off now, and I want to go to the 3-day again and just draw new lines of where at what point it went into overbought and what point it went back under the 80. I know I'm saying overbought as well. There's no real such thing as overbought. It's just above the 80 mark. I'm just saying that for video sake. So there again, we have two lines on the chart and 2 lines on the stokes. So I'm just going to group these again. So group that and rename that to 12-hour stokes in the chart, and drag that other line in. And down here, I'm going to group these within the stochastic and just call it the, no, sorry, that wasn't 12 hours, it's 3-day. Sorry about that. So 3-day. And down here in the stochastics, going to just group these again and rename that 3-day. There we go. So that is just a taste of what you can do in the object tree. It does make the drawing management so much easier. I'm just going to hide that again. Just, you don't have to, obviously it's a good idea to always say redraw your support resistance lines across different time frames. Not fairly regularly, whenever it's needed, which can be fairly regularly sometimes. But while you don't have to change them, you don't want to be having to click to all different charts for your time frames. You can have it all within the one chart, nested within the object tree here, and it's just click on the time frame that you're in. And also, like with the stokes, you can back test strategies and check if they're working out, used like that with the stokes method. You can do that with all other you can do that with other indicators, other time frames. I'll show another thing you can do as well, and just something that I noticed. Right, we're gonna put on, we'll just put on the RSI for a second. I'm going to show you what happens here now in a second. So if I drag this RSI up into the chart section, then you see the RSI is behind the chart. Now see, I've dragged it down, and now it's in the stochastic. So I'm not sure if there is a way, but I haven't found a way to drag that back into its own little subset box. So just if you're trying to do that, if not, if you're wondering that, I haven't figured out a way to do that yet. Anyways, so best thing to do is just not drag it into the box if you want it, or if you do want to drag it over the chart, add a new one. Just because say if you've done some technical analysis and you've done some drawing on the RSI and you bring it into the chart, Backcenter don't want to, in order to get it back into its own box, I've had to delete it and then add it again. If anybody does know how to do that, let me know. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else to show you on this? But also for that, if you do if you do want to use, if you don't want taking up space in a box at the bottom, and you do want to just have it behind the chart, I do this with the historical volatility, because I don't, for me, I don't, in my tech analysis, I don't need that to be in its own box. I don't look at it all the time. I just flick it on to see if what the historical volatility is at. Then that isn't actually, that's not the settings I use in my historical volatility. I think what do I use? I'd have to check one of my other charts, but that's not it. But just for that, it's like that. It's not something I always have on, so I do leave that one behind my chart and just turn it on and off when I want. But that is I think it for the object tree. If I do figure out any better ways of drawing management with it, I'll add another video on this. But this has been probably one of the best tool I found on TradingView for just managing your drawings, your charts across all different time frames, being able to test different strategies and have all that. So when you're back testing strategies, have all that information there on the one chart, but being able to hide it easily to still just do your TA on different time frames. So if you're not using it, try it out. I do think it will help streamline and just declutter. Use right, you can declutter the amount of graphs you're using in charts. So I do think it'll be a massive help to you. But that is it for this video. Thank you for watching Mad Crypto. Thank you.